Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the lecture. So in this lecture, we'll try to take out some other questions and we'll try to understand it. So if you remember in one of my lecture, I told you that it's a human tendency to forget a lot of things, right? And I mentioned about one of the graph. You can see this graph, right? It is called Ibn-Gas forgetting curve. So it is written in the x-axis, it is called as time. And on the y-axis, we have a percentage retention. Let us say today I taught you something, or let us say today I learned something. So that is day 0 for me. At day 0, I'm going to remember 100%. Whatever you explained or whatever I explained to you, you're going to remember everything. And if you don't try to revise it, after some time, what will happen? You can see the graph decreasing. Say this is day, okay, this is week, month, 6 months, and year. So as you keep on, after some time, what will happen? Your graph keeps on decreasing. So if you don't want to happen something like this, what you can do is, the best practice is that you have to do a revision. The moment you try to do a revision, you're going to remember something for a very long period of time. So like I mentioned, whatever I'm teaching you now, whatever questions I'm trying to tell, make a notes out of it. Try to paste it wherever you're sitting. So every time you sit and you look at those questions, that is going to come in your mind for you. I mean, it's going to, reverberate in your mind for a very long period of time. So that is the best practice what you can adopt, right? So now we'll get into the questions now. So the next question what you can encounter is that what are the ratio for the different grades of concrete? So we have understood that we have different grades like M7, M5, M7.5, M10, M15, 20 and 25. You have to remember M20, M15, 10 and M7.5, right? Quickly try to remember that. If it is M7.5, it is 1:4:8. If it is M10, it is 1:3:6. If it is M15, it is 1:2:4. And if it is M20, it is 1:1.5:3. M25, you can remember, but M25, we don't go with this particular ratio. We try to go with the design mix, okay? Up to M20, 15, you can remember. And then you can make a small trick out of it, how to remember. But don't try to by heart, it is very simple. The trick what people give is, you can see from here, for M7.5, this is 8. For M10, it comes out to be 6. For M15, it is 4. Then M20, it is 3. Got it? So this is like 3, 4, 6, 8. You can go in this way. And 1 remains same for all the thing. Then again, you can remember like 4. This is 3. This is 2. This is 1. This is how you can remember. But try to remember it, like try to practice it for 2-3 number of times. It's very simple. There's no rocket science required in this. And don't try to by heart all these things, right? Yeah. Now, other than that, you can see it here also. We have a lot of mixes, like I mentioned. We have up to M100 also. We can see up to here, M25, you have a certain proportion. And we know the first one is about cement. The second one is about the sand or fine aggregate. And third one is about the coarse aggregate. Up to M25, we have. Beyond M25, from M30, we don't have it because we have to go with the design mix. And we know what is design mix. I'll come to the design mix a bit later. Let me ask you one more question. Where do you use this M5, M7.5 and even M15? So you can say that this M7.5, M10 and M15, usually we use for the PCC work. Or instead of telling PCC work, you can say for the inferior kind of work. So that is why you can see here M5, M7.5 and it's called as lean concrete. Let me put it in a better way. M5, M7.5, M5 we don't use, leave it. M7.5, 10 and M15. We use it for the inferior quality of work. Let us say if I want to put a bed concrete, just to have a uniform surface. If I want to put a PCC, that is plain cement concrete, I can make use of this grade and put it. Wherever we don't want any load coming, we just want a uniform surface, or for that matter, we go with this thing, that is a ratio of 7.5, 10 and 15. And wherever we are putting up a structures, or wherever we are going to put up a structural element like concrete, for footing, column, beam, slab, we have to use minimum M20. So you can see minimum M20 is what we're supposed to use. Even in the code it is mentioned. Beyond M25 also, it depends on your exposure conditions and based on your requirement, right? This much understanding is clear? Yeah. And after this, we'll go to one more question. What are cover blocks and its sizes? Okay. So we know what is so we know these are called as cover blocks. And what are the importance of cover block? Just take 1 minute of your time. Try to understand what exactly you know. Then you'll come back to this, right? First, you should have your own understanding. Then you can listen to me and my answers. So first, covers are actually given from durability point of view. Okay. So covers are provided to safeguard the concrete from corrosion. Second is from fire resistance, especially in case of columns, and to provide a bond between the concrete and the reinforcement, right? So if I don't provide this cover block, if I directly keep my rebar over this, what will happen? It will come in contact with the soil, or it will come in contact with water. And rebar, the moment it comes in contact with the water, it's going to get corroded and your durability is going to come down. Second is fire resistance, of course, in case of columns, because columns are critical element, okay? Because the entire load will be taken by the column, and of course from the column the transfer is going to happen. Tomorrow, if your column catches fire, and if you're not given cover blocks to that, it will not take long time for the fire to come in contact with the rebar. And if rebar comes in contact with the fire, it will be having a carbon content in the steel, and carbon, the moment it catches fire, it's going to burn like anything, and then the complete collapse of your structure will happen. So again, in column, especially it is given from fire resistance point of view. And of course, if you don't give a, and of course we'll have to have a better bond, like I explained it. If I take this as my rebar, and if I try to place a cover block here, what will happen? There will be a good bonding between my concrete and the rebar because of that space, and my concrete will go all around. So that is why we provide the cover blocks, right? So they may ask you, it's a very basic question, and you are expected to ask, I mean, you can expect these questions to be asked in the interview. They may ask you, tell me the different sizes for the cover block. Very simple. For footing, it is 50. For column, it is 40. For beams, it is 25. For slabs, it is 20. And for staircase, it is 15 to 20. Water tank, you can remember 45. But footing, column, beam, slabs, and staircases, you're supposed to remember at any given time. Okay. Yeah. Now, whatever I explained, what is the logic behind this? I mean, where is a proof for all these things? We'll try to see that. I'll take you to a few of the code books now. It's always better we try to understand through code book. Yeah. Now just go to IS 456-2000. It's written here, nominal cover to the reinforcement. Okay. And then if I come here, it's written. Yeah. Yeah. Just concentrate here. Yeah. So it's written what? For footing, minimum cover shall be 50 mm. Right. After that, for column will come. And for column, it is given 40 mm. Okay. For column, it has to be 40 mm. They may ask you, if you, of course, they don't ask you, just in case, remember, if they ask you whether you can give a cover less than 40 mm in the column, we can give that, provided the longitudinal bar we are using, it has to be 12 mm minimum. It should not exceed 12 mm, and the dimension of my column should be 200 mm. Okay. In that case, we can decrease the, I mean, cover, instead of providing 40, we can give 20 mm. So it's written, in case of column of minimum dimension of 200 mm or under, whose reinforcing bar do not exceed 12 mm, a nominal cover of 25 mm may be used. But practically we use 40 mm only. 25 usually don't use it. Okay. Yeah. So this much is with the proof I've explained you where exactly it is written in the code book. Now, other than that, like I mentioned, from fire resistance point of view, you can check it out here. So you can see here, nominal cover to meet the specified period of fire resistance and concentrate on the columns. It is written 40, 40, 40, 40. So these are fire resistance. Okay. That means, let us say your building has caught fire. So 0.5, half an hour it can resist a fire. 1 hour it can resist, 1.5 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and 4 hour, 4 hours. Based on that, it is telling you what should be the cover block in the, what should be the cover in the beams, what should be covered in the slabs and ribs. So you try to remember for the column, it has to be 40 mm and it is written here, right? Yeah. So other than that, rest all things are not required as of now. Whenever we require, I'll be coming to all this part like side face reinforcement and all. And of course, exposure condition, will come to the exposure condition a bit later. It's not required. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So cover box is done. We have understood about cover box for column and all these things. And these things will be written on the cover box. Like if it is 25, it will be written 20 and so on. Yeah. So I hope you have enjoyed the lecture up to here and we have got an idea like what is cover block, what should be the sizes of the cover block and all. And we'll see you back in the next lecture. Thank you.